Okay. Oh, good. It'll be afternoon now because it's our clocks have finally gone forward here in the UK. It's Jeff, Godless Scummer. I just having a little hangout as a pre-show to something that was happening a bit later. At the moment, I have Sam Chaos and
Hello.
Godless Granny with us. I don't see anybody in the chat right now. I understand it is probably a bit early for a lot of people right now, but yes. So just so you know, I was supposed to be doing a asterisk stream with Noodle like we normally do this time of day. Fortunately, Noodle's not feeling too well today, so I thought what I'd do instead is we'd have a little bit of we'd have a pre-show to a stream that is coming up later today, and the link to which is in the comments section. It will be on One Ring 42's channel, and it's going to be a Dungeons and Dragons special where a group of intrepid raiders, including myself and Sam, will be invading Dinosaur Adventureland in Alabama, and we will be in an endeavor to try and retrieve Kent Hovind's tax records.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. Now, yes, so
we need a subpoena.
The question is, will we succeed or will we get whacked?
That's the big question.
Do you have a subpoena?
I don't know if we do or not. We'll have to sort that out, won't we?
Yep.
I never imagined doing a D&D game where I'd be an IRS man.
Yeah, you should make up yourself some blank subpoenas and.
Yeah.
Well, if all else fails, I think my character might even have the spell illusory script, so we can create one.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So now it will become fairly obvious when we do this stream later who the non D&D player in the group is, and that is me. So I'm going to be very much relying on everybody else to help me out with that. But the whole genesis of this kind of came about actually. We were just having a bit of a hangout on my channel. I think Sam and Ring were in there, and they were talking D&D, and I just sort of spouted out as a joke, why don't we have one where we invade Kent Hovind's dinosaur park? And which I just thought was a throwaway joke, but yourself and Ring started seeing the possibilities at play here. Of
it was just like, actually, that's an option. That's
yeah.
Are you going to nuke the park?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if we go. We don't know if we're going to have to go directly to the nuclear option or not. But
okay, I live fairly close to the park, and I just want to know if I need to take shelter.
I think you'll be fine. Magic tends to stay within a measure of feet rather than miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And
and
we have the dungeon master themselves joining. So
hey,
oh, cool.
Hello,
Ring.
I hope you've dusted off your Kent impressions for this.
Oh, yeah, I've totally done it. It's not like I've been, procrastinating this entire time.
That's a mood.
Yeah.
I'm still in the middle of trying to use Character Mancer to get most of my characters sorted, but because the system we're using for writing up characters doesn't have all of the options, I'm having to put in placeholder ones and then go in and retype out the actual stuff later.
Yeah, like, unless you're doing, like, bog standard SRD stuff, I would have actually suggested just copying things in from the beginning.
I mean, it's mostly bog standard stuff. I mean, I'm going Cleric Domain of Trickery, one in Rogue and one in Bard.
Okay.
And then I'm going, I think I went Circle of the Moon, which means that I get to transform into stuff with a challenge rating of 1.
Now, the big question is, though, will this get us onto Whack an Atheist or not? That is the big question.
Well, Kent has been tagged. Ring, does Kent have you blocked, or will we actually see you tagged him?
he has me blocked.
Yeah, pretty sure, like, Kent doesn't even know I exist.
Fair.
I feel I may have an outside chance of this because I've noticed Kent doesn't like a lot of the British atheist YouTubers. However, I'm pretty small compared to everybody else that he's whacked on his channel.
Yeah.
He's picked on Rachel Oates a number of times. Mainly because Rachel reviewed one of his books and did not give it a very good appraisal. Then, of course, Conspiracy Cats, because Kent, I think, got a little bit butthurt that because Cats handed his ass to him in a debate. And Cats is, if those who are familiar with Conspiracy Cats, Cats can can just rip you down, but be so damn polite whilst doing it as well. I think that probably is what got under Hovind's skin a little bit more. And then, of course, numerous times, Simon Dan now, he really has a hate boner for Simon Dan now. Especially when he found out that Simon Dan's got about like 2 or 3 times as many subscribers as he's got.
I have not been blocked by Kent. So if you need anything posted, I can post it.
Well, also, I would say
to...
we'll put the links in the stream. If people could just share this on their social media as well, because we really want to try and get. It's been like Ring for a while now. It's been chasing the elusive 200 subscribers thing.
Yeah,
we really want to get Ring, have a subscribe for Ring. I think to get Ring to 200. You're 24 away now, I believe.
I'm checking. Yeah, still 24 away.
Still 24 away. So
I need to have you on an
we've
episode.
Had a fairly big. We've had a fairly big account, D&D retweets with like 10,000 and something followers. Retweets. Ring's post about the D&D thing.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it that much, but I decided to just hashtag D&D in the Twitter post, and that seems to have gotten it retweeted by a few, by a few.
Yeah.
They're probably sort of bot accounts kind of things. They just pick up the hash, the D&D, but it's cool. It's getting it more exposure.
Very true. Hello to the humans in the chat, by the way. I see Manda and Never Again and my friend Mia and BigZebra.com. So hello to the humans.
Yep.
Mia is one of my D&D players from my IRL group.
Okay. I wanted. I was just to say, I just see Mia in the chat now. I was wondering who's Mia. Hello, Mama Raphius. Yeah, it is bloody early. It feels early. Feels early for us, but then our clocks went forward today, so it still feels like it's only just gone midday. So, so this
someone was asking for a link to my channel, so I dropped it in the chat.
Acceptable. Okay, some new faces in the chat as well today. So, and BigZebra.com is you. It looks like you are now 23. Yeah, and Noodle is lurking in the chat. I did explain, obviously, today was supposed to be an asterisk stream on Noodles. It's already been postponed for a week because I wasn't feeling too good last week. Unfortunately, Noodle's not feeling too good this week. So, so like Asterix seems to have had to take a couple of weeks hiatus, really. So definitely, so I definitely would ask people to share the link to that's the stream that's in the description on various social media, and have a little bit of a subscribe for Ring because it is way past time we got you to 200.
You just want to hear you just want to hear the embarrassing stories.
Possibly slightly. Only slightly,
yeah. Slightly, but you are criminally undersubbed as it is. So
Maybe I should put away my crocheting because a stool shows up. Stool's afraid of my crochet hook.
That sounds like a very good reason to keep crocheting.
Oh yeah. Mind you, I live basically a stone's throw away from Stool, actually.
Yeah. I haven't heard from Stool whether he'll jump in or not. But the thing is, I put the link in the chat groups, so it's possible. It is possible, and it could be like Beetlejuice if we say his name 3 times. It's like summoning him.
Just like Darth.
Yeah. Asshole 104, as Manda will quite rightly point out.
This is fair. Oh dear. See, I made a joke to someone the other day about maybe I should have a conversation with Darth to see what he thinks of pagans, and then the person was just like, "Oh yeah, I know someone who can get you in contact with Darth if you want." And it was like, actually, eventually I might.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, I don't really do. I'm not the one for doing debates as such. And to be honest, I think if I was going to try debating, I'm not going to cut my teeth on Darth or on Hovind or anybody like that. I don't think, like, if you've never done a debate with anyone before, that they're the right people to cut your teeth with.
Nah. I think it's just absolutely ludicrous that Kent Hovind doesn't believe that there is such a thing as a fossil record.
Here's my feeling on this. I think Kent Hovind knows better. I actually genuinely think that. I think Kent is too. I think Kent knows he's running a scam.
Well, see, of course I know better than the stupid atheists.
But yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, and the thing is, like, Kent has been debating this topic for 30 years. He knows that he can't really claim he can't claim genuine ignorance. I mean, he might be willfully ignorant, but he does know better. He knows he's straw manning evolution as a I mean, let's be honest. Kent Hovind is a guy who I think the best Kent Hovind would have achieved had he not found young Earth creationism is being a used car salesman.
Yeah.
I see that he's got a video up that's new where he's supposedly refuting Aaron Ra on fossils.
Oh god, he's trying to get into it with Aaron again.
The video that I did about him. I said he's just a sad old man that is, outdated, washed up, and seeking attention.
Well,
I said he needs to retire and just go spend some time with his grandkids.
I don't think he'll be allowed to see any of his grandkids.
I was about to say, do you dislike his grandkids there?
Yeah. Well, I know. I think the door with Eric is definitely shut permanently.
Yeah. Oh, really? I wasn't aware of that.
Oh no, they can't. Eric might parrot his old man and run the same.
Yeah, that's
scam.
why I didn't realize that.
Not like. Oh no, they do not like each other. Eric can't stand him. Kent was gonna take him to court at one point because Eric took his old ministry.
Apparently, Arizona tea bottles are the proper container for alpaca urine. At least that's what the chat's decided.
Okay. I have no idea how that came up in the chat, but
they're
always
talking about my infamous drink.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, how I'm always drinking out of an Arizona tea container because I need a big ass container of liquid.
It is one way to do it.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to try and find. Yeah, that's. Where have I've lost my little picture? When someone mentioned alpacas, I was going to find something.
Picture of an alpaca.
I've got a very mainly because I'm sure people always appreciate a little floof now and again. So
Yeah.
you know,
Alpacas
floof
have
is good.
Alpacas have the softest fur.
yeah, that's why I'm trying to find this. I can't find it. This is frustrating. But just continue to talk about it yourself. So I'm trying to find this picture. This picture of the alpacas. Which will just be some nice floof for the day, you know.
So
I can't believe people still go to his Dinosaur Adventureland. I mean, how dumb do you have to be to think that any of that is real? Well, and why would anyone take a kid there when they know that a kid died there and nobody cared?
Also, from what I've seen, it's basically like a hyped up church camp.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
From what I'm trying to remember who did the video. It may have been the late Bill Ludlow actually, who did the video of like actually looking around this park and like, where are the dinosaurs?
Yeah,
and it looks like there was a few cardboard cutouts of something that may or may not be dinosaurs.
Yeah, I mean, say what you will about Ham, but at least he built a fake boat,
or at least half of a fake boat.
Yeah.
Well, Hovind is always appealing for volunteers to come down to the park and build stuff for him. They've been building some tree houses.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? So this is the thing as well. So he doesn't pay for any of the labor that is done on that park.
No, he doesn't pay for anything.
No, he's
a moocher.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
So it's.
He is. Yeah, he is definitely. He is definitely one hell of a grifter. You got to give that to him.
Yeah.
Maybe if I go down there with some people, I should wear some of my old church shirts. I still have plenty of them.
Yeah. Well, I remember, I mentioned Simon Dan because he's got a hate boner for Dan now. He once did the whole Simon Dan did a video on him one time, and he was doing the whole "hey, debate me" kind of thing to Simon Dan. Come on a stream, let's debate kind of thing.
Yeah.
Simon Dan made a counter offer. He says, "No, I'm not going to debate you on a live stream." He says, "But I will come out of my own expense to Dinosaur Adventureland to debate evolution with you in front of your own, people, on the proviso that Kent could get a passing grade in a GCSE science test."
Oh goodness! Oh goodness!
Kent did not want to take him up on that because Kent was then like, "Oh, well, that's a science test of the evolutionists of,
Yeah, my amusement with that is fine. Just take like a chemistry or physics one then.
Hey, if you've got a PhD in science like you claim, then doing that level of a science test should be pretty easy.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. Dan even offered the caveat that this could be a GCSE physics test. Doesn't have to be a
biology.
Biology. So
I don't know if I could pass it.
I probably
for an entirely different reason.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just not something I think about. It's not something I deal with. And so, the last time I took a science class was in 1979.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of
Yeah.
things that have been discovered since then.
Well, who
Right.
knows?
I
You
said-
may have
right,
actually
I
taken
said,
a science class more recently than Kent.
I said there's
Actually, in a
some-
way, I have. Aaron Ra is now my science teacher, and his phylogeny series has been great. I watch Stated Clearly, I watch Jackson
Yeah.
Wheat, I watch Professor Stick, and that's where
Yeah.
I get my science education.
Yeah, Dapper Dino's pretty good as well. But,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
there you are. There's some floof for you.
Floof.
Praise
It's a little babby
Floof.
alpaca and a real babby alpaca in my hands there.
Praise Floof.
Yeah, absolutely. Praise the floof.
Is that in South America?
That's in Cuzco in Peru.
Oh, cool.
Oh, Mama Atheist, I don't think it's the fact that physics is easier than
Yeah.
biology. I think it's that there's stuff, that it's less.
Less evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically
It's
saying
more
to Ken-
Christian friendly.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily. Then again, of course, see, even that would backfires on Kent though, because Kent puts things like abiogenesis and planetary formation and all that sort of stuff,
Into
and the
evolution.
Big Bang Theory. He all puts that under his straw man definition of what evolution is.
Yeah, but is astronomy and would astronomy presuming the GCSE physics is like what my high school physics was. It's basically mostly just like Newtonian physics and relativity with some electromagnetism. There's not really much stuff in there.
Yeah.
That
To be honest, to get a
controversial
a-
for a YEC.
to get a
You can get a passing grade.
you probably
You
only
need
needs about 20% of the answers right.
Oh, really? Is that all you need?
Just get a basic.
It was the last couple of years. It's been 34%, I think.
Okay, 34%. Just to
I
get
can
like
only
basic
that.
passing.
If you could answer the Newtonian physics and the electricity questions correctly, you get a passing grade just off that.
Yeah.
I could probably do that then. I can usually figure out some answers from looking at questions and looking at the logic.
I think something like 20% of it is multiple choice.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Kent, even if he doesn't know the answers, has if he has a good chance of passing just by doing guesses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's the thing. Yeah, I didn't know Kent was trying to get back into with Aaron Ra. Now, I was in a only time I've ever talked to Aaron. Actually, I was in a hangout with him about 2 or 3 months ago on Hopswatch's channel, and someone brought up Kent, and he's like, Aaron was kind of like, I'm not giving that guy any more of my attention. He's had too much already. So I don't think I can't imagine Aaron's going to respond to him anymore. Although
No, he's not.
As he did the whole series. I mean, he had a little bit of fun with Ken a year or two ago, like because he had that one-off debate they had. It was more a discussion rather than debate, but it was on the Non Sequitur show, and I mean, Aaron absolutely. I mean, it wasn't. It was not even close. It was just. It was to the point where there was even young Earth creationists who were bemoaning how badly Kent did in that, because Aaron obviously big point of what he has done in a lot of is debunks young Earth creationism. He was very, very familiar with Kent's script going in, and his whole game plan was to go in there, throw Kent off of his script, and like said like for like when he did the whole there's 6 there's 6 kinds of evolution. He said no we're not and Aaron was straight away no, we're going to work with the actual definitions of evolution, not your definition. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna stick to what the the scientific what the peer-reviewed science says when we define these terms. And Aaron just because Aaron just pinned him down on one question really for like 2 hours, pinned him down on one question, and it was 2 hours of Kent just trying to wriggle out of answering a question and not succeeding. Because Aaron just kept pinning him back on this and saying, no, come on, he's basically he prevented Kent from doing his Gish Gallop and everything. So it just Kent got very butthurt and then started making. So it ended up where he was Kent made a challenge of a load of like video sort of like video responses kind of thing. Which Aaron thought, okay, I'll take him up on that. And so they did a few videos back and forth. And then Kent started making like 7 or 8 videos to every one of Aaron's. And then, and none of them really saying anything. It was just, it's like trying to do it's like imagine trying like in a written academic debate with people do things do debates in writing. And somebody trying to Gish Gallop in that format, that was almost what Kent was trying to do.
Which isn't going to work super well, really.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there's a reason the Gish Gallop got popular with broadcast, once broadcast debates became a thing.
Yeah. Well, it's the thing is, it's very easy to but let's say that I'm whatever. I don't know. For argument's sake, I'm a creationist or flat earther or whatever or something like that.
Yeah.
I've got let's say for example I'm a flat earther in a debate and my interlocutor is Ring.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we've both got like 10 minutes or something to present an argument. It's very easy for me in that time to throw out 20 or 30 absolute complete loads of complete bullshit and lies that in your rebuttal time you maybe have time to at best maybe address 8 or 9 of them at best.
Yeah.
So and then you just kind of come, then then the flurf or whatever comes back. But you didn't answer all these other points I made, like then hashtag flat Earth confirmed kind of thing. That's what they do. That's what Hovind does. That's what I've seen flat Earthers do.
Here's the thing. The Bible says that the world is hanged on nothing. So flat Earth falls flat.
Mm. Oh,
that's right. There's pillars holding it up.
Oh, this is the funny thing about Kent, though. It's like Kent actually, mocks and derides flat earthers, which, I think to a certain level they should be mocked and derided. But Kent, Kent is as much you're as big of a science denier on stuff as most flat earthers anyway. Yeah. So this is why I thought actually it was like someone was trying to pitch the idea to try and convince Hovind into debating Germanism, which would have been so funny. He's like, hey, for the first time ever, Kent could actually win a debate using science.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Ring.
Yes.
Is it possibly worth me mentioning right now that my character's passive perception is 22?
Yes, it is very worth mentioning that. Let me guess. You've got expertise, and then you took alert, or not alert, observant.
No, expertise 18 in wisdom.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Mike Raptor's a big fan of your Kent impression, by the way. Well, I think we're all fans of your Kent impression.
Probably except Kent.
Yeah. Well, I think I've been told that Gutsit Gibbons, she does a very good Kent. I've not heard
really?
her do it, but I've heard Dr. Josh Digital Hammurabi. He's spot on.
It is.
Yeah.
He is absolute. He actually just sounds like Ken. It's not.
I don't know if
really,
that's great or awful.
Yes.
I mean, Aaron. I've heard Aaron Ra mock him before. Aaron does a pretty half decent Kent impression. But I'd have to put him like behind. I'd have to put you ahead of Aaron in terms of Kent impressions. So Ring, but Digital Hammurabi probably to me is the best one I've heard. But I've heard that Gutsit Gibbon does a very good one as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Erica does a good one.
Yeah. So just realised that we just realised something. You need Ring. You haven't got your little SpongeBob thing and hammer for the.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't.
Nerdy said, "Has anyone ever seen Kent and Josh together?" #suspicious.
Oh yeah,
No, Doctor Osiris. That is absolutely disgusting.
Now, have we ever seen Ring and Josh in the same room just to double check it's not 3 people?
Yeah. By the way, I will be out. I will leave the D&D stream if you put on a Hawaiian shirt. Though I'm just saying that now.
Yeah.
I was just thinking. I think Dr. Josh might be old enough to be Ring's dad, and I realized I'm old enough to be Sam's grandmother. I have grandchildren that are getting close to Sam's age.
Yeah, there are a few people in the community who it's like that with. But I think everyone tends to forget.
I think we tend to forget that Sam, you're as young as you are sometimes.
Yeah.
This is fine. Makes it easier to not have people treat me like a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
So Josh is not old enough to be Ring's dad, according to Amanda. So,
but
okay.
But speaking of Hawaiian,
I have a Hawaiian shirt somewhere.
I have to thank GeoSam for this, and since this is kind of a pre-show, might as well premiere it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I shared it, Jeff.
Okay.
That is Kent's token.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
It's a wizard's robe as a Hawaiian shirt. I love that.
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that. Do you know? That awful picture I saw a couple of months ago with Kent and Matt Powell together wearing matching Hawaiian shirts. I mean,
Nerdy's looking for trouble.
What did Nerdy say now?
You're trying to spring that old schism again in the community.
Oh, yes. Now, I have to agree with Nerdy, though I acknowledge that that's a personal taste thing.
Yeah,
wars have been started over.
Like,
that.
I agree with Nerdy, but I also acknowledge that I am a proud pineapple heretic.
I was on a stream, in the chat in one of Erica's streams, and someone brought up pineapple on pizza, and she said, no, no, no. And I said, pineapple and jalapenos is really good on pizza. And she said, yeah, I could see pineapple and jalapenos.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can see that too.
Yeah, my favorite pizza is Meat Lovers with bell pepper and pineapple.
I just say about the whole pineapple pizza thing is, my take on it is, look, I don't kink shame anyone. It's just a hard limit for me.
I like True Text response. It goes well with Hawaiian weed.
Okay, yeah, quite possibly. Pizza and weed do tend to go well together anyway. Because you smoke a bit of weed, you fancy a pizza.
Here's the real heretical food preference. I like black licorice jelly beans.
Oh, I do too. I love them.
This is fine.
I could. Yeah, I don't dislike them.
Whenever my husband buys jelly beans, he always picks out all the black ones for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the advantage of being significantly less picky and eater than the rest of my family.
Yeah.
So when people like leave foods, I'm just like steals that, and oh look, I've got a second dinner.
I have no idea if that exists, but you know me, I'd probably try that. Marmite
I would
jelly
probably
bean.
try it and then complain.
Yeah. I'm looking at Big Zebra's comment and thinking I need to try going to Cambodia.
Oh yeah. He's saying about the the happy pizza.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
See, your real problem would be if you ordered too much of it, and once you'd eaten some, you wanted to just eat the rest, and you had too much.
Yeah. That's a bit like the old Bill Hicks line about not only making marijuana legal but mandatory. It's basically there'd be no wars and everything. Everyone will just be sat at home, and the only people on the road will be Domino's pizza trucks.
I definitely would like to see weed made legal throughout this country. I think it would do wonders for our penal system, cleaning people out of jail that don't belong there, getting rid of all this, arrest for a half an ounce of marijuana.
Oh, it's...
Yeah. And I think that there's a conversation to be had between decriminalization and legalization.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, I think one or the other, both would be better than the system we have now in both most of the US and in the UK.
Yeah.
I think, it also would have a huge impact on the work that I do with children, because, a lot of kids are taken from their parents, and one of the provisions of getting their kids back is they have to get random drug screens, and if they come up for weed, they can't have their kids back. And I do agree that, if you are committed to getting your kids back, you should be able to stay off the weed for 1 year or 6 months or whatever, the court has deemed. But on the other hand, I don't see keeping a person, keeping a person's kids from them just for a little bit of weed.
Also, there is the issue where on the state level, a lot of states, discounting the recreational, discounting the recreational states, a lot of states have it legal medically, but it's still illegal federally.
Right, and that's a big part of the problem.
Yeah. So, say, you've got chronic pain issues and you don't want to be on prescription opioids because they'll fuck you up. And so you use, medical marijuana to manage the pain. Well, then you either got to live in agony or never see your kids again, which really sucks.
Mm-hmm. Actually, though, if you have a prescription for something, that's excused. If you've got a legitimate prescription for a drug and it turns up, they don't look at that.
Well, yeah, and then that just means that the problem is that the weed is currently not a prescription thing.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Because
Well,
I've got parents that are on methadone, and it's okay because they have a prescription for methadone.
and unfortunately, microraptor indoctrination is legal, at least if it's, fundamentalist indoctrination.
Yeah, it is shitty.
Yeah. But also, fun fact, veterans can't get prescribed marijuana if they get their medical care through the VA.
Bloody VA.
Because the VA operates under federal rules. So
they'd have to make it federally legal for that to work.
Yeah.
I've also seen there are some states where it's legal to have it if it's medically prescribed, but you can't buy it.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of making it legal for medical purposes if you can't buy it? And you can't go to another state where it is legal and bring it, because if you carry it across state lines, that's a federal offense.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of the nice thing about the Montana weed laws passing in the recent election is the bill, or amendment rather, basically says if you were arrested on a weed charge, it's retroactively this law retroactively applies, so that gets expunged from your record.
That's good, and that's the way it should function, because that's like saying, oh, it used to be illegal to do. Well, it's not like saying that. It's saying that it used to be illegal to do this thing, and now it isn't. But you've still got a record of having done something illegal, even though it's not illegal now.
Yeah, and it also essentially treats weed like alcohol,
which is good, because alcohol is, if memory serves, potentially actually worse than weed.
Yeah.
Is the impairment while you're on weed similar to alcohol? I mean, I would assume that you shouldn't drive after having weed.
Okay, so allegedly, getting buzzed on alcohol would set off one of my seizures, but getting high, getting a little high on weed wouldn't, but would give me really trippy dreams. Allegedly.
This conversation reminds me of something that I encountered on Twitter the other day. Somebody accused me of leaving Christianity just so I could live my culture of drugs, sex, and rock and roll. And I said, you obviously don't know me at all. I've never tried drugs. I'm asexual, and I don't listen to music.
Which is kind of weird, because you look like the stereotypical, the stereotypical hippie grandma.
I kind of had that attitude, but when I was young, I was too afraid to try drugs because I was so into the Christian thing. I thought it was evil. I thought it was wrong, so I never did. And I'm married, so I don't, and I'm not interested in sex anyway. So I'm not into, wild sex either.
But yeah, funny thing is, like, I rarely had the opportunity to drink before I got diagnosed with epilepsy.
I like Mama's comment. I get super cerebral on a lot of different types of pot. That sounds like an interesting experience. I would like to. I'd like to see what that's like.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if
I remember one of the best one of these Christian memes once that said it said this. It actually said this. I tried marijuana once and now I'm gay. And my only reaction to this was, I've been sold really bad shit all these fucking years.
Oh, I was gay long before I tried weed. But hey, I've been to Amsterdam, so I'm not saying I tried it in the UK.
Amsterdam's, I can say, is pretty damn good. So
yeah,
I can vouch from experience that it's very there's some rather not nice coffee shops there.
Like after I turned 21, pretty much like a couple months, I went into the army, and you're not allowed to drink in basic or AIT. And that was like 6 months. And then a couple months after I was out of AIT, I got deployed to Afghanistan.
And no drinking for you.
Yeah. And so, yeah, between coming back from Afghanistan and getting diagnosed with epilepsy, I only had like 6 months to a year.
Yeah, it's not a massively big window to have to deal with stuff from drinking.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a reason calling me a lightweight is an insult to lightweights.
That's very true. Oh dear. I've just remembered now that story, and
yeah.
I think you told it on the St. Patrick's Day hangout, didn't you? Or
well, I didn't tell the story. I just mentioned that yes, I have gotten blitzed off 3 chocolate liqueurs.
Yeah.
It's
a good thing. It's not a bad thing actually, because it's like you don't have to spend a lot on alcohol to get buzzed. It's kind of good.
Well, I think you have to not buy very much alcohol at all.
Well, and the thing is, if I get buzzed, that lowers my seizure threshold.
I got silly drunk about a week or so ago on it started on Dave's stream and then ended up on was on the Shills after show, and I got through a bottle and a half of rum that night. That was pretty darn. The next thing I knew, it was light, and it was like, oh, it's daylight here, and I was pretty darn messed up on that for one day. Drunk Jeff is drunk. Drunk Jeff gets very drunk. I mean, I'm a fairly regular drinker as people know. I do like to have a beer or two during the streams, but I was but I'm not as regular as perhaps a lot of people think I am. I think I was bad during the first lockdown. I had to sort of slow down. But like, trying to think actually, I think maybe 2 or 3 days in the past week I've had a drink. So I've been pretty.
Congratulations, Doctor. That's impressive.
Yeah, I salute
good.
that. I salute that.
Yeah.
I usually
don't
have one drink a day.
Yeah,
I don't drink
just
any more than a couple a week, but if I was able to see friends, I'd probably be drinking 3 or 4 nights a week.
yeah.
I usually have a glass of wine with dinner.
My problem is I just like beer too much. It's
Oh,
I like beer.
I like my ciders, like Malibu, my whiskeys, that sort of stuff. Which I've been told makes me sound pretentious, but hey ho.
Unless I have Mexican food, then I have a margarita.
That's not bad.
Well, actually, so you mentioned Mexican. That's one thing I cannot drink. It's one thing I cannot drink is tequila. Just the smell of that is enough to make me feel sick.
See, I have an auntie who tequila is her safe drink, where she can drink it all night and not feel too bad no matter how much she drinks.
No, I think this goes back to when I was about 18 or 19 and had a night on doing tequila slammers and got so violently ill, kind of drunk, that I just the thought of tequila now is just like no. It just
That's how I was with beer for a long time. When I was 18, and drinking was legal at 18 when I was 18, my uncle took me out. My uncle was an alcoholic, and we went fly fishing, and we had several beers on the boat. We didn't catch a thing. We didn't even get a nibble. So he took me to a bar afterward, and we had a few more beers at the bar. And when we got back to his cabin, I was so drunk, I was holding onto the furniture to keep from falling over. And I went to sleep in the sleeping bag because, there were a lot of us staying at my uncle's cabin. I woke up in a pile of vomit, and the vomit smelled like beer. So for me, beer and vomit smelled the same for a few decades.
They're not they're not necessarily mutually exclusive. Yeah.
I do have a couple of drinking stories, but I'm saving that for when I get 200.
So once again, if you're not subbed to Ring's channel and you want to hear some drinking stories, please go and sub to Ring's channel.
That being said, Fireball is pretty good in a hot toddy.
Yeah, I Fireball. That's that cinnamon whiskey type drink, isn't it? Yeah. I wasn't a fan of that. I tried it, and you think I'd like it because I like bourbon and I like sort of cinnamony stuff. But I couldn't get on with that.
Yeah, it's not that good. Like it's okay straight, but it's a lot better in a hot toddy. Because it gives a little spice to the tea. Yeah.
I quite I think the one thing I got pretty wrecked on one time on when I was out about a year ago was agua bombs, which is Bolivian coca leaf liqueur agua mixed with a bit of Red Bull.
Oh, so it's like a Jaeger bomb.
It's like a Jaeger bomb, but with agua.
So this booze is made from cocaine.
Yeah, well, obviously to sell it here, they obviously it's deactive. But this is the weird thing, obviously, because I was out in Peru, where it's just like coca is in everything. It's but I mean, to the point where the problem is, but it was like really weird. I couldn't even like bring like a bar of chocolate back from there. Even though there was not enough coca that could be extracted from a bar of chocolate that could constitute anything illegal. It still was like, no, we're not letting you have that. But
well, and I mean, it would make sense that there's a bunch of coca in everything in Peru, given how it helps you acclimate to the
that's why
to the altitude.
That's why I had a bag of coca leaves actually whilst I was out there. Because actually I did if I didn't suffer too much from the altitude actually, but I think the one time I was a little bit, and I've sort of thought I'd try the local cure, just chewing a little bit. It actually does work.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it actually does work.
I like Microraptor's comment. It's okay straight, but how is it lesbian? That's like a joke I make all the time is whenever someone says to me, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole, I say, well, how about a 10-foot German?
Yeah. So we've done a good. So I think if Kent gets hold of this, I mean, so far we've talked about drink, drugs, and sex and whatever on this.
Evolution.
Kent holds evolution. Kent gets hold of this. It's going to be atheists are immoral.
Yeah.
That's probably what he'd say.
So you know what a lot of historians say about Poland.
What do they say?
It's Schrodinger's country.
Okay.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad because it's true.
Is that something Noodle told you, by the way?
No, I literally just thought that up.
Bear in mind, yeah. So let's just say Ring is married to someone who has some Polish descent there, so Ring can get away with that.
Yeah.
If not, Noodle's going to kill him.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, telling Polish jokes we did that all the time.
Well, see, there also from there's a difference between a joke about the history of Poland and a joke about
The
Polish people.
Yeah.
My favorite one was, what does Russia do if they want to see a circus?
What?
Throw a tent over Poland.
Oh.
You know what? Funnily enough, if it weren't for the Spanish, Russia wouldn't have its most popular or its most popular export, or what it's the export it's most known for.
Vodka.
Yeah. Because vodka is made from potatoes, which are from the New World.
Indeed.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, vodka is made from potatoes and a number of other things, but yeah, that's a big ingredient.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because like when someone says potatoes, you either think vodka from Russia or Ireland.
Yeah.
But the potato is actually native to the Andes.
Interesting.
But
funny.
Like potatoes, tomatoes, and what we call corn are all, from the Americas.
Going back to your comment.
Big Zebra was saying, but yeah, potatoes. Yeah, actually, because again, I mentioned I went to Peru couple of years ago. And a lot of the like you see the sort of layered sort of tiers and out in Inca cities. A lot of them were for basically turning hillsides and mountainsides into farms, and potatoes were one of the probably like the big crops they grew.
We're laughing at Big Zebra's comment.
Yeah.
Potatoes swam across the Atlantic during the Great Potato Migration of 865 CE.
Well, and the thing is, pasta's not actually Italian.
Yeah, that I did know.
Yeah.
Marco Polo brought it back from China.
Yep.
But getting back to your comment about atheists having no morals, I think anytime a Christian brings that up now, you respond with, so yeah, like Ravi Zacharias's morals are better.
Yeah. Let's just say I happen to be in a Facebook group with there's a load of pre-suppers in there. And I thought, wouldn't it be really, and I did think to myself, it would be a little bit petty and a little bit cruel to make fun of Cy Ten Brooklyn Clates like right now, isn't it? So let's do it in a group of pre-suppers. now that they're champion. Like, hey, pre-suppers, you do realise now Darth Dawkins is the best you've got left. Let that sink in for a moment.
Yeah. But well, and the thing is, like, natural, like, if I remember right, natural coca isn't that bad for you.
No, it's not at all.
Yeah, because like what cocaine is like condensed. It's like essentially like the hash of the coca leaf.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this is why some of the I'm also say there was some of the products that you could buy with coca in that they didn't want you bringing back through, because I mean technically coca leaves and whatever are illegal here as well. Now the amount you bring back, I can't see in any of the products that, unless you bought like a blooming suitcase full of like coca butter, like body lotion back, that you're going to be able to extract enough out there to even get a gram of cocaine.
Though that speaking of drugs and morals, reminds me of this time in history when an honorable company
I think I know where you're going.
Smuggled a massive load of an extremely addictive drug to economically blackmail a country. So apparently drug smuggling is honorable.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I was looking at Mama Atheist's statement. I don't attribute my morals to desire for some heavenly reward. If you're doing the right thing, just not to go to hell, that's not true morality. And she's right. That's a very childish level of understanding of right and wrong. When you look at psychologists who study the stages that people go through in determining what's right and wrong, that's a teenage level understanding.
Yeah.
I find it really funny the amount of times that someone brings a moral argument to me against paganism. It's just like, that's not how this works.
Or the argument, or when a fundamentalist brings forth the essentially the argument from sociopathy.
I can guarantee Sam, I'll guarantee this, that you generally generally, and I won't say in every case, but generally when you get a Christian that brings a moral argument to you about paganism, they got no fucking clue what paganism or
Oh no, but
polytheism
atheists will
is.
do it too. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't get it. And I know polytheists in this community who could on any of these topics would run rings around pretty much any of the atheists I know. I mean, Ocean Keltoy would run rings around some of these people.
Yeah. Ocean is a very good debater and is someone who has been poking me occasionally, like, hey, this is the thing, improve your debate technique before you try cutting your teeth on anything here.
Yeah.
The way he phrased it to me was, you need to stop being British passive-aggressive and start being British aggressive.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, the latent Christianity is really strong with the more asshole atheists / anti-theists.
Yeah. I mean, I don't tend to identify with anti-theism personally, so
I don't either.
Yeah.
I argue pretty aggressively against the Christian God, but as far as just a God in general, maybe.
This is. I mean, maybe I misunderstand the anti-theist position a lot of the time, but anytime I ask about it, it does seem that the arguments all seem to revolve around Abrahamic monotheistic religions.
Yeah, there's actually two common definitions of anti-theism, and one of them makes me an anti-theist.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because there is anti-religious harm, and then there is the belief that religion is inherently bad.
Yeah.
I guess then I really am an anti-theist, because I do think that religion is inherently bad. I think some of the things that it teaches are just ingrained in the doctrine, and you can't believe.
Well, so you're less. Well, that's the thing. Like most religions that are prevalent are Abrahamic, which have Abrahamic sects, which have set doctrine, but there are religions that don't have a set doctrine.
Yeah, and I have no problem with people who believe in, have a spiritual belief and believe in a being, a powerful being, as long as they're not going to, say, okay, these are the rules this being has put down, and these are the things that we have to do to, to please this being.
That kind of, most pagan religions say, nah, fuck that shit.
I mean, you might have. I mean, there are little pagan groups, shall we say, that I'm sure that are a bit a little cult-like. I'm sure Sam will agree with that.
I would connect the word group to cult. There are a few pagan cults out there.
Yeah.
And fuck focused.
Yeah.
Actually, I am I can't go too public with who this person is or whatever, but it seems some friends of mine had a little bit of a near escape with a guy who is clearly setting himself up to be a cult leader. I gotta be careful because I don't want to name this person, because I gotta be careful what I say publicly. But everything they sort of showed me is the way this guy was. Now, I thought that to begin with that this was a guy who was setting himself up because he wanted to make sure that that he didn't want the sort of, shall we say, black metal kind of, far right things getting into the group, which I understand that. But then it was wanting people to prospect for this group of his for a year to 18 months and do voluntary work for the group. And there was a load of things about this, but then the thing was, and again, I've got to be a little bit careful how I said, there was definitely some things being told to me that stunk of sexual exploitation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this person is setting themselves up as a cult leader here. And I said, I don't want to go say too much public because I want to have all my facts before I start making any videos on this person or anything. So, because you know, it is one of those things you got to. I actually did speak to someone who had, you know, come out of a cult and asked them for some advice and about what to do about this. And the first thing they said is, you've really got to know what the fuck you're talking about if you do anything public.
And I will say, there is at least one Christian sect with a set doctrine that isn't inherently harmful. The Quakers.
Yeah.
Because from what
aliens aren't inherently bad.
Yeah, because from what I've seen, like the Quake. Okay, do you?
Okay.
Oh well.
Oh, we lost Ring.
Yep.
Oh right, I thought that was. I thought I was cutting out for a second there because it looked like.
I thought he was.
It looked like you'd frozen as well. I think we got Ring back.
Yeah, my internet hicked
It
up.
was you. I thought I might have caught out there because it looked like Granny had frozen as well, and I was like, okay, this doesn't look good. But yeah, you were kind of junk shopping a bit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing just kind of noped out a minute.
Yeah, and actually, I'm gonna jump out so I can eat.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you've got obviously to set up for the stream a little later as well. I'll put the link to that once again. I'll probably wrap this up in about half an hour or so. So give people time and that bit of time to get over to your stream and so on. So in about 45 minutes, we have got, it will be the epic D&D stream.
Yep. The quest for Kent Hovind's taxes.
Yeah. Come and see us either send inmate 06452017 back to prison, or we make it whacked. We don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, we may need our wits about us because I mean, I don't know what Ring has in store for us. I mean, it could be, we might have to like fight off Matt Powell as well. We don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
You know what I find amusing is Kent's got this huge lawsuit right now against the government for falsely accusing him, and yet his major contention that he made in his criminal case was that the government had no jurisdiction over him, and yet he wants to exercise jurisdiction over the in this instance.
You gotta Ken, I've got to explain something to Ken. I'm not a legal expert at all, okay, but obviously this is more your area of expertise, Granny, is legal matters. But here's the thing, Ken, if you listen to this, you can't expect to use sovereign citizen kind of arguments on one side and then expect a double standard when you want to sue the government here.
Exactly.
So either you are a sovereign citizen who is free of the government, or you are not. So, that's what I saw with Ken. It is like sovereign. His arguments were like sovereign citizen type of nonsense.
Yep.
That's his whole argument for being innocent. He claims innocence, but even though he was convicted on all 58 counts of structuring.
Mm-hmm.
He was in prison for like 9 years or something. He's always maintained his innocence, but all of his arguments are based on sovereign citizen things. I think he even made an argument that he wasn't a citizen of the United States, but a citizen of the Commonwealth of Florida. was one of his legal arguments.
Even though Florida is not a Commonwealth. Massachusetts is, but Florida is not.
Yeah, exactly.
It's bizarre to me, the stuff that happens there.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to think who did a breakdown of it. It might have been on one of our. I think it was Nate Brody on one of Aaron's videos, and people know I'm not a big fan of Nate or whatever, but I will give the guy credit. He did a very, very good breakdown on Hovind's claims of innocence, and why they're complete bollocks.
Mhm.
So I might not get along with that guy personally, but you got to give credit to people where it's due.
The one thing I have always wondered, and I cannot tell, is whether or not Hovind actually believes his own arguments.
I don't think he does with a lot of that evolution. I honestly think it's a. He's running a scam. He knows he's running a scam. I honestly think that's what I think about Ken. I may be wrong. That's just my opinion, but I don't believe he's any. Mind you, you don't know with some of these people, because I think I think I've seen this with a couple of flat earthers who I think have started off being kind of pose or whatever, and then have gradually over the course of time have bought into their own thing to such a degree. Like I think Sleeping Warrior kind of did that. I honestly thought when Anthony Riley was first about, I thought, oh, this guy's a Poe. He's doing this for the lulz or whatever. But the more and more I listened to him, I thought, okay, he is more and more buying into his own nonsense now.
Yeah, I think some of them do, and it frustrates me. The extent to which
the guy I'd like, I don't. He's not got back to me. The guy I'd like to get on my channel for a conversation is Seek Truth, Speak Truth, because the guy who left Flat Earth. And I'd definitely like to sort of talk to someone like who got into that and then eventually kind of come to the realization that this is just nonsense. Why am I buying into this? I think hopefully I can get him on one day, but that's a guy I'd definitely like to talk to. But I've been in a hangout with him before. He's a really nice guy as well, so definitely be someone I'd like to have on the channel. Yeah,
there's people like that. It's just like it'd be really cool to get on.
Yeah, Ken Ham's a different one. I don't know about Ken. I think in a certain way, I think on a certain level, Ken Ham may believe his own stuff, but at the same time, the Answers in Genesis are a far more insidious organization than anything Ken's done, because
I agree.
Their Answers in Genesis are organized and they have people with legitimate PhDs
selling out for them.
Yeah. Now they may very well be true believers in God and stuff. I don't know, but it's the fact that when they join AIG, you've got to sign that statement of faith, and it pretty much is one of the things is any evidence that does not fit our worldview is to be dismissed out of hand. Because they've had people obviously they've had Snelling for a long time, haven't they? Who knows better.
Oh yeah.
Georgia Prideaux, she knows better. These people are absolute sellouts.
Well, I really honestly think that Ken totally believes everything that he says. And part of the reason I think that is when I watch Answers in Genesis and I see his reaction, he's genuinely hurt by some of the things that people say. And if it was just all a scam, I don't think it would bother him because he'd know in his heart that they're right.
Yeah. Whereas this is what I think about Hovind. That's what I think Hovind. He doesn't. He kind of knows he's conning people. I think.
Mhm.
That's just my opinion. I just think he know. I think he's just got the whole air of, like I said, he's got the whole. Kent has got a very much a used car salesman vibe to him. To me,
I can see that.
but yeah, AIG are very. I mean, because AIG are probably like. I mean, that they won't. I mean, AIG won't have anything to do with Kent.
I recently happened to get on YouTube twice in the last 2 weeks when AIG was live streaming. Well, it was live streaming their Answers News, and so I jumped in the chat. And the first time I did that, anything I posted was automatically deleted by the moderator.
Yeah.
And then I posted a question. I said, "So opposing viewpoints are not welcome here. What's the problem?" And the moderator didn't take that one out. And some of the people were really confused. They're saying, "But you haven't posted anything." I said, "Yeah, I did. The moderator deleted them."
Yeah.
And after that, the moderator's been leaving my comments in.
Yeah, I haven't watched I mean, I haven't watched an Answers News thing in a while because I've sort of responded to them once or twice, you know. I mean, there's just some. I mean, yeah, because it's normally. I mean, I don't know. So I'm trying to think who's the ones who are normally. It's normally Ken Ham, Georgia Prideaux, and
Bodie.
I'm trying to Bodie. Those are Those are the three regulars, aren't they? I mean,
I recently did a response to one of theirs, and I called it Bodie Trash's absolute morality, because he did. You know, he basically dumped the whole thing with a comment of his that, well, anyone that believes in slavery, you know, for as being okay for a society is absolutely morally wrong. I said, well, you just said your God is absolutely morally wrong, and I put up some papers where AIG had said that slavery is okay as long as it's not harsh slavery. And what was really interesting is that AIG claimed a copyright on that video of mine because there is a small segment in that Answers News where they play a clip from a copyrighted video of theirs. And because I used 45 seconds of that, they had a copyright claim on my video. I thought, perfect. Now they're going to have to review my video so that they can decide whether they want to claim the copyright, because I disputed their claim. Unfortunately, their claim expires today, and they never reviewed it. They're just going to let it expire.
Okay.
But I tried.
Well, you tried to get them to see it, I guess.
Yeah, I did. I would really be interested in what they thought of, you know, the direct contradiction between what they wrote in their papers on slavery and what Bodie said on that episode of Answers News.
It would certainly be interesting, but I don't think you get a response out of them even if they did see it.
Oh, I'm sure I wouldn't.
Yeah, well, hopefully we're gonna have. Hopefully we'll have a few in there. I'm getting some good few retweets. Got a good few retweets on the Ring stream. Yeah. So
I've shared the link out to a few different Discord servers.
Yeah. So definitely want to help do a subs drive for Ring. Really, I want to get Ring to 200. So
yeah,
we want to hear Ring tell embarrassing stories.
We want the embarrassing stories.
Doctor says that he's mixing up Hovind and Ken Ham, and once you get one scammer, you get them mixed up. I have two. I did a video and I got them mixed up once.
It's easily done. It's easily done with those
I mean,
two,
internally they all despise each other, but externally they all look pretty much the same.
Well, I think Ken Ham and Ray Comfort seem to get along quite well, but Hovind is a little bit of a pariah, I think, and it's a weird thing, and yeah, it's a weird. They will fight amongst themselves. I mean, like AIG, who are obviously the big young Earth creations, who they will not go. They will not go anywhere near Kent Hovind. I mean, because Kent obviously is somewhat disgraced, but then the thing is, Kent has rebuilt a following since he's been out of prison. I mean, he's got a fairly big. I mean, he's got a fairly big YouTube following. You know,
His YouTube is uncomfortably big.
yeah. But then it's weird. You see the but you see if he's on a debate, say next week on a channel somewhere, and you go back to him and look at those video tapes he was selling in the 1990s, his arguments have literally not changed. They're literally he is on the same script he's been on for 30 plus years now.
And yet he still somehow has 178,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I know there's could be a portion of them who are kind of atheist hate subbers looking for content, but a lot of them, I mean, you look through the comments of any of them, you see there's a lot of Kent's just absolute minions he's got there. I mean, just people who absolutely believe this guy. I think the fact that because I think the fact that I don't, even though Kent's not sort of officially a part of it, it seems like the NIFB endorse a lot of his arguments. Tend to, and they have grown. I mean, they have very much grown a lot over the last couple of years, uncomfortably so, because they're a hate group.
It's funny how people with doctrines of hate don't ever seem to mind hate groups.
Oh, speaking all about Kent. Anybody see that clip the other day of Kent?
Oh, with the native girl.
Yeah, the Navajo lady. Yeah, I mean, she's obviously a Christian. Anybody see that clip?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna try and. I don't want to give him any views. So I'm gonna. Yeah,
it's on Twitter in various places.
I know Hemet Meta shared it. This is. Oh, this is gonna be. Yeah, this was several days ago. This happened. Okay. Okay. I'm hearing some harp stuff in the back. Oh, is that your phone or something?
Yeah.
I
my husband texting me that he's up now.
Okay. Okay, this is a short little clip. Let me get it up here. Okay. Right, okay. It's got a young Navajo lady. He's obviously a Christian, but listen to this.
All right, have a seat. Tell them how you like Dinosaur Adventureland.
I love it.
No, you don't scalp people, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
I don't.
That's his idea of a joke.
Scouting people?
Scalping.
Oh, scalp. Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's not insensitive at all.
Well, I'm sure. Obviously, I think it was Purple Rhymes of Orange actually said something to that. I was on one of Purple streams and it was brought up the other day. Purple said something about the whole native scalping people. That there's a lot of stuff that people misunderstand about that. That it was kind of almost a European import, really. So, yeah. Basically, yeah. Basically, yeah, fuck Kent. Sorry, but you know, he's an arsehole, you know.
Yeah, you know, a little bit.
Well, this is the other thing I've heard a lot about him because you know he obviously on the exterior Kent puts on this sort of happy, clappy, smiley kind of, you know, exterior, doesn't he? For his video, but. From what I've actually heard from people who actually have had dealings with him, that he is just a not a nice person to be around at all. You know.
Yeah, I've let's put it this way, I've not heard pleasant things about him.
No, I haven't. I haven't at all. Okay,
And with Doctor's comment
yeah.
in the on Hovind and ham sounds like a terrible sandwich. It does, doesn't it? Actually, oh, I've just thought about that. That's not nice.
I need to step out for about a minute or so. I'll be back shortly. So,
Although, if you just change 2 letters in Hovind's name, change the H to a B and the D to an E, then you get beef and ham, and that sounds fine.
Yeah, beef and ham.
Before I
Not
go-
sure I'd have.
or before I
sure
go,
I'd
the E to the U in the first name. Anyway, I'll leave you with that thought before I've got to shoot for a minute or so. I'll be back.
I don't know what he means about the E to a U.
There is no E in either of those names, is there?
Well, when I suggested changing
Sorry,
the
I
D
said
to an E,
in the first name.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Be back in a sec.
I don't think I would want that as a sandwich, though. I like Ring's comment. I do not like Hovind and ham. I do not like them, Sam. I am. Ring, you are not Sam. Sam is Sam, and you are Ring.
Yes. Although, is Sam always Sam?
I don't know. Are you always Sam?
No, Sam is my alter ego. I'm a snake.
Ah, okay. Doctor likes congealed bovine mammary gland secretions. I do too. It's my 2 favorite foods are both dairy. I love cheese and I love ice cream.
Yeah. Cheese is good. Ice cream is good. I got in lots of shit with my little sister the other day because my little brother ate her ice cream and then said I'd eaten it.
Oh,
And she believed my little brother over me because I have been known to steal food before, but I always admit to it. So I don't know why she didn't go
interesting.
with that.
Ring says they're rather
Ring,
Gouda.
Ring, that's cheesy. Yes, Mia, I am in fact an agent of chaos.
And are you a sandwich?
Well, I actually I have 2 foodie nicknames because the reason my screen name is Sam is there were some people in my childhood who called me Sam, and it then got changed within that group to Sandwich and Samosa were the 2 things I got called.
Well, I have been called Kelly Jelly. So you can be the sandwich and I'll be the jelly.
Oh, I forget that Americans don't call jelly. Because when you say jelly, I imagine Jello.
You imagine what?
Jello.
Oh, okay.
If you order jelly in the UK, that's what you're gonna get.
Ah, okay. So what do you call jelly? What we call jelly? Jam?
Jam.
Okay.
Yeah.
We differentiate between jam and jelly. Jam has some actual fruit in it, whereas jelly is made only from the steam of boiled fruit. There's no actual fruit in it.
Jam with bits, jam without bits.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I learned another Brit speak word. I took a test on Brit speak words once and I got 100% on it.
Well, fair enough. That's
But
pretty good.
that one wasn't on it.
Yeah. I find it funny because several times recently I've said "hey up," and my American friends have just gone, "What?"
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised because there are some brands of beer here that are called ales.
No, "hey up."
Oh, okay. I thought you said ale, A-L-E.
No. No, E. How would I try and spell it? Because it's normally a thing that's verbalized. It would just be EYUP, AYUP.
Oh, okay. So what is that?
It's a way of saying hello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's specifically Northern English. And then there's a separate phrase which includes the word AYUP, which is AYUP, here comes trouble. When you spot someone you know coming and you're talking in a group.
Okay.
Which is basically saying, oh, here comes this person.
Over here, there are so many different ways to say hello. I don't think people should be surprised at much of anything.
See, I've noticed significantly more words for idiot.
I think that's because you're better at calling out idiots.
Did
What
you
are s-
did you
ahead.
hear what I said a second ago? Because my mic appears to have cut out for a minute.
What did you say?
I was saying about there being lots of different words for idiot in
Yes,
British
yes.
English.
And I
Certainly more than in like the vocabulary of my Texan partner. I mean,
What
just
time-
off what time? What, sorry?
what time does Ring's stream start?
About 20 minutes. So I'm going to finish this up in about 5.
Okay.
You said that Brit speak. Granny, we have to get you educated on Cockney rhyming slang at one time.
Oh yeah, let's have a butcher's at that.
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Especially when you mentioned like jam, I was thinking getting on the jam jar for a drive, you know.
Oh yeah.
It's it's a weird thing. I mean, to be honest, I think I don't really actually hear that many people from London use it really.
It's more Northerners that use Cockney rhyming slang now.
Yeah.
I've noticed. But like I grew up always knowing bits of it because like my granddad would always ask me if I was telling porkies, and whenever he stood up to leave the room, he told us whether or not he was going for a pony.
Yeah, yeah.
I assume porkies are lies.
Yeah.
Yeah, porky pies. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, but it's like things like, you know, would you Adam and Eve it, you know, sort of thing. Apples and pears at stairs, you know, those sorts of things.
Yeah. Then there's let's have a butcher's, which is just short for let's have a butcher's hook.
Or
let's have a look.
Or if you're joking with someone, you're having a bubble.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, here's something that's really obscure because this is a word that was only used in the city of Milwaukee when I was growing up, and I took a test once where it said, you know, test to see if you're really from Wisconsin, because only people in Wisconsin use this word, which is bubbler. A bubbler is a drinking fountain, but you go anywhere in the country other than Wisconsin, and nobody's ever heard of that.
Mm.
That's really funny.
It came up because they
there's-
felt like the water kind of bubbles up.
I've noticed that. I mean, there's a bit of an accent with because I noticed with like Wisconsin, you know, there's a bit of a. I know, obviously, I just know yourself and Jenny, but I know another YouTuber from that part of the world. I actually said to Jenny, funny enough, her surname's Morgan as well, but they're not related. But they're all Packers fans as well. All
Once a Packers fan, always a Packers fan.
Yeah.
When it comes to sports, I watch one sport, one team, and that's the Packers. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
That's fair enough. I mean, I will say, I mean, even though I'm a Cowboys fan, there's a brilliant series on YouTube with the history of the Green Bay Packers, because it is a quite interesting history they've got. Because
they are unique.
They're very unique in American sports, anyway.
They're the only fan-owned team.
Yeah, in professional sports in the US. Yeah.
I own a share of them.
That's pretty cool, actually. I pay very little attention to sports. I will very casually play certain sports. Like I will very casually play like badminton, tennis. I'll go swimming, but sports generally, nah.
One thing, I got into a debate on trans women in sports once, and my opponent wanted to argue entirely about rugby. And I thought, you got to be kidding. I've never watched rugby. I've never played rugby. I know nothing about rugby.
Oh, that's why you needed my help.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
See,
used to play
the
rugby.
most simple response to it is that it results in shit like women, whether or not they're trans, having to undergo invasive testing in order to determine if they're trans, if they win and their testosterone level is too high.
Well, the one thing they always bring up in those arguments is Fallon Fox, isn't it? That's the one thing that will always she will get brought up in any
We
of
did
these.
talk about her briefly, but I
Yeah.
dismissed her pretty quick.
Yeah, and I think
My opponent actually didn't
yeah.
know much about her.
Yeah, well, the thing is, well, there's something I think anyone's got to remember about any professional combat sports as well, is that there's always a little bit of manipulation that goes on with them. Any kind when they're with promoters who are trying to build up a potential attraction, will put them in the ring with people that they're easily going to beat for a while. I mean, they've done it in boxing for years. I mean, professional wrestling went so far with it that they just decided to fake the entire sport and sort of make it more, just an entertainment thing and no sport in it whatsoever, really. I mean, that's not to say that the guys who do it are not really great athletes, because they are, and they do still get, their bodies really do go through a lot. But you've got to remember that there is a certain level of manipulation with any profession. And this is the thing, because people were like, when Fallon Fox was kind of, oh, this is so unfair. But then what happened? She got beat.
Mm-hmm. Jen educated me on Fallon.
Yeah, the first time she was up against a semi-decent MMA fighter, Fallon Fox got beaten.
And then she quit.
Yeah. I think she fought one more time after that. I think that was it.
Right. Yeah, as soon as she reached her level of competence and realized she couldn't win, she quit.
Well, it's a classic story of a former American football player who turned to boxing, called Mark Gastineau. He used to play for the New York Jets, and then turned to boxing after his American football career kind of fizzled out. And they were trying to build him as like being kind of like, they were going to kind of like, bill him up for like eventually a Tyson fight or something like that. And here's the problem with it, though. He fought several fights and knocked the people out. Then they got him to fight this guy called Derek Dukes, who was a part-time professional boxer, but also his main job was professional wrestling. Derek Dukes forgot which thing he was doing at the time, and when he took the knockout, he just did this massive flat back, big professional wrestling bump, and everyone's like, what the fuck is this? This is like so obviously a fix. It's like he got punched and then like went up in the air and like boom down like that on the floor, and then was out for the count. It was like, and to be fair, I don't think Gastineau himself was in on the fix. It was just like he punched, and then the guy went flying back on his back, and it is a certain point of, oh god, he's forgotten what he's doing here. And that just ruined that was Mark Gastineau's boxing career gone right there. Right, I'm going to have to draw this to a close because Sam and I will need to get over to Ring Stream in a few minutes.
Yep.
But just quickly before we do, Granny, you got anything coming up?
On Tuesday, I'm going to have a couple people on to trash Campus Crusade on a live stream.
Cool. Okay.
That sounds fun.
Sam, yourself?
I've been mentioning having a video on pronouns coming out for a while now. Shit's kept coming up in my personal life, but it is coming eventually. And in the next few weeks, I have the first episode of Pub Religion coming out, which is going to be a podcast where me, Will over at Godless Sewing, and Maddie over at Sign Side Up just sit and chat. The premise being a pagan, an atheist, and a Christian walk into a bar.
Yeah. By the way, Maddie, I came across her channel actually. Maddie recently trashed Nathan Thompson in a debate on flat Earth.
Yep.
She absolutely trashed him.
I mean, I knew she had the debate, and I didn't watch it, but I knew she trashed him already because she'd explained to me how she was going to pull apart his script.
Yeah, she did. She did very well. I mean, and I think she did very well to actually keep her cool with Nathan and during that, because Nathan's just such an obnoxious little dickhead.
It's a skill.
It's a but there's actually a good breakdown on that debate on Fight the Flat Earth's channel that they go through. Fight the Flat Earth and Team Skeptic have Maddie on. They kind of go through the whole debate, and just watching Nathan be a petulant little child throughout the whole thing.
I shall have to go and find that later. Then I want to see that.
Sam, did you see my video, Granny's challenge, where I talk about normalizing pronouns?
I did not.
It's a short one.
I will write that down to go and look at in a bit when I finish D&D.
Well, okay. As for myself, I got nothing really planned for the upcoming week because midway through this week I should be going back to work, so I probably need to get out exercising a little bit right now for the next few days when I can. Next week, hopefully, we should be back with Noodle's channel with the asterisk stuff. I'm going to go on that. As I have sort of said, I can't say too much though, but Noodle and I'm sort of teasing that we are working on a project that we're going to do together when we get, once asterisk is sort of all wrapped up, and which we think could be really good. But so that's all I can really do at the moment, is to give people teasers on that. But in about 10 minutes or so, this will be starting on Ring's channel. You want to come over and see whether or not we get whacked, or whether we get Kent Hovind's tax records on this epic Dungeons and Dragons quest. Okie doke. Thanks everyone for thanks to Sam, to Granny, and obviously to Ring for popping in. Thanks to everyone who's been in the chat. Thanks to anyone who may be watching this in the future. My only thing with this is please go and subscribe to Ring if you haven't already. We want to get Ring to 200. I'd sooner plug Ring today than myself on the stream. So let's do that. So we'll see you all later. Thanks very much. Salute.